The city lights of Tokyo blurred into a soft glow below. A million stories sleeping under a blanket of neon and night. Up here, though, on the rooftop of a forgotten skyscraper, my own story was just beginning. Or so I thought. The air was crisp, carrying the familiar scent of ozone and the aftermath of a good fight. My knuckles were raw, my muscles screamed, but it was a good burn. The kind that reminded me I was alive, that I was strong. This was my sanctuary, a place where the only audience was the moon, the only judge was myself. Tonight, the moon was full, a silver coin hanging in the inky black sky. It seemed to watch me, its ancient gaze a silent witness to my ritual. I took a deep breath, centering myself, letting the energy of the city hum beneath my feet. This was where I trained, where I pushed the limits of the Kusanagi legacy. My fists, wrapped in well-worn leather, clenched and unclenched. I could feel it, that familiar heat coiling in the pit of my stomach. The Kusanagi flame. It was a part of me, as natural as breathing. With a soft exhale, I let it burst forth. Crimson flames licked up my arm, dancing in the cool night air. The heat was intense, a living thing that obeyed my will. It was the power that had defeated gods, the legacy passed down through countless generations. My legacy. I moved through the katas, a dance of fire and shadow I'd known since I was a child. Each punch sent a torrent of flames roaring into the night. Each kick left a searing arc of crimson. The movements were fluid, second nature. My body knew this dance better than it knew how to walk. It was powerful. It was beautiful. And it was mine. But tonight, something was different, a flicker, a stutter in the symphony of fire. I paused, my fist still extended, the flames still clinging to my knuckles. There it was again. Spark, not the brilliant, confident crimson I knew so well. This was different. A flash of cyan, like a fragment of a winter sky, appeared for a heartbeat within the inferno. It was gone as quickly as it came, but I saw it. I felt it, a cold spot in the heart of my fire. I dismissed it at first. A trick of the light, maybe. The city's neon glow playing games with my eyes. I shook my head, refocusing, and threw another punch. The crimson fire roared, obedient and fierce. And then, it happened again. Another cyan spark. And this time, it was brighter, lingering a fraction of a second longer. It felt alien, wrong. My own flames, the very core of my being, felt tainted. I pulled my hand back, extinguishing the fire, and stared at my knuckles as if they belonged to a stranger. A shiver that had nothing to do with the night's chill traced its way down my spine. The rooftop suddenly felt less like a sanctuary and more like a cage. I tried again. Slower this time. I concentrated, willing the purest Kusanagi fire to manifest. The familiar warmth blossomed in my palm, a comforting red. But as the flame grew, so did the corruption. Tendrils of that icy blue-green color began to weave through the red, like veins of frost creeping over a burning coal. The fire sputtered, its roar now a discordant hiss. The air around it grew cold, so cold it felt like it was sucking the warmth right out of my bones. This wasn't my power. This was something else. An intruder. And then I heard it, a voice. It wasn't through my ears. It was inside my head, a whisper that felt like grinding stone and shattering ice. It wasn't Japanese, wasn't English, wasn't any language I had ever heard. Yet, somehow, I understood its intent. The words were a cascade of ancient, forgotten syllables, a language that felt like it was woven from the fabric of nightmares. The voice was cold, devoid of emotion, yet it carried an immense weight, a pressure that made my skull ache. It spoke of eons spent in darkness, of hunger that could devour stars. It promised power, a power that would make Orochi's malice seem like a child's tantrum. I tried to shut it out, to block it, focusing on the memory of my father's teachings, on the pride of my clan. But the voice was relentless, a parasite burrowing deeper into my consciousness with every alien syllable it uttered. I staggered back, clutching my head. My vision swam. The cyan-laced flames on my fist pulsed in time with the throbbing in my skull. The voice grew louder, the words shaping themselves into a concept I could grasp, a terrifying, soul-crushing idea. It called me the gate. It called me the vessel. It spoke of a world cloaked in fire. Not the crimson fire of life and will, but a cold, silent fire of absolute nothingness. I screamed, "Hurrah!" desperate sound torn from my throat, and flung my arm out. The corruptive flames erupted, not in a controlled stream, but in a chaotic explosion. A wave of red and cyan fire slammed into the far wall of the rooftop, buckling the concrete and steel. The heat was immense, but the cold was worse, a psychic frost that seemed to freeze my very soul. The voice laughed. It was a sound that didn't echo in the air, but in the hollows of my mind. A dry, rasping sound like 1,000 tombs opening at once. Panting, I fell to one knee, my body trembling. The flames died down, leaving behind only the scent of scorched concrete and an unsettling, profound silence. The voice had retreated, for now, but its presence lingered, a shadow staining the edges of my thoughts. I looked at my hands. They were just my hands again, but I knew, with a certainty that chilled me to the bone, that they were no longer just mine. The Kusanagi flame, my birthright, my strength, had been compromised. It was no longer just a tool for justice. It was now a bridge, a doorway, and something ancient, something terrible, was knocking on the other side, using my own power, my own soul, as the key. The shadow in the flames was no longer just a flicker. It was awake, and it was hungry. The legend of the Kusanagi clan was about to take a very, very dark turn. And I, KyoKusanagi, was right at the heart of the storm. The world didn't know it yet, but the clock was ticking towards its end. And it all started with a single, science spark. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to follow Kyo's descent into darkness. See you in the next episode. The world, still reeling from the chaos unleashed by verse, finds itself on the brink of an even greater cataclysm. Deep within the fabric of reality, an ancient power stirs. A being of immense cosmic energy known as Otoma equals Raga. This mother goddess seeks a gateway, a bridge to anchor her world-ending might to the mortal realm. And she has found her key. KyoKusanagi, heir to the legendary flame. Kyo, oblivious to the cosmic target on his back, walks through the neon-drenched streets of Shibuya. He's just finished a friendly spar with his rival, Iori Yagami. The familiar burn of their shared curse a constant reminder of their entwined destinies. But today, the city's vibrant energy feels different, heavier. A strange premonition, a cold dread, crawls up his spine. He dismisses it as fatigue, the lingering adrenaline from the fight. He couldn't be more wrong. Suddenly, a figure emerges from the bustling crowd, her presence a stark contrast to the modern chaos around her. It's Dolores, the enigmatic medium from the African deserts, her eyes holding the wisdom of ages. She moves with a purpose that parts the sea of pedestrians, stopping directly in Kyo's path. Kyo, ever on guard, tenses. He recognizes her from the last tournament, an ally of the enigmatic Ila. KyoKusanagi, she says, her voice a low, resonant hum that cuts through the city's noise. It's not a question. We must speak. A great danger approaches, and you are at its very center. Kyo eyes her skeptically. I get that a lot. If you're looking for a fight, I'm a little worn out. Come back tomorrow. He tries to sidestep her, but her gaze holds him fast. This is no mere fight, Dolores insists, her expression grave. This is about the survival of your world. The entity you know as Otoma equals Raga. She is coming. She is a being born of will, a goddess of this planet's very essence. And she seeks a vessel, a human host powerful enough to contain her. Kyo scoffs, a flicker of his trademark arrogance showing. A vessel? What's that got to do with me? Dolores' eyes narrow, filled with a chilling certainty. Everything. The power you wield, the flame passed down through generations of the Kusanagi clan. It is not just an earthly power. It is a beacon. It sings a song that resonates across dimensions, a song that Otoma equals Raga has heard. She pauses, letting the weight of her words sink in. Your sacred flame, the very thing meant to protect humanity, is what is drawing this world-ending power to you. She has chosen you, KyoKusanagi, to be her anchor. The casual confidence drains from Kyo's face, replaced by a dawning horror. The Kusanagi flame, his birthright, his identity, a tool for destruction. The idea is unthinkable, a violation of everything his clan stands for. He remembers the unsettling power he felt during the fight with Verse, a strange resonance that felt both familiar and alien. Was that her? You're saying this goddess wants to use me to destroy everything? He asks, his voice barely a whisper. Worse, Dolores replies grimly. She seeks to merge with you, to overwrite your existence and walk the earth in your flesh. The power of Otome equals Raga channeled through the Kusanagi flame would be unstoppable. She would not just destroy the world, she would unmake it, rewriting reality in her own image. A cold sweat breaks out on Kyo's brow. The weight of this revelation is crushing. His entire life has been dedicated to controlling his power, to using it for good. Now, he's being told that his very essence is a lure for a cosmic horror. The premonition he felt earlier returns with a vengeance, no longer a vague feeling, but a sharp, terrifying certainty. He is no longer just a fighter, he is a ticking time bomb. What do we do? Kyo asks, the question raw with desperation. For the first time in a long time, the legendary fighter is truly afraid. Dolores looks toward the darkening sky. For now, you must be careful. She will begin to test you, to whisper to your power, to find the cracks in your will. We must find a way to sever your connection to her before she can establish a foothold. Her gaze returns to Kyo, filled with a mix of pity and resolve. Your greatest battle is not in an arena, Kyo. It is within yourself. And if you lose, we all lose. As Dolores fades back into the Shibuya crowd, Kyo is left alone, the city lights blurring around him. The oracle's warning echoes in his mind, a terrifying prophecy that has turned his world upside down. The legend of the Kusanagi clan has taken a dark, horrifying turn, and the fate of the world now rests on one man as struggle against the goddess. Who wants to wear his skin? The fight for Kyo's soul has just begun. Thanks for watching. If you want to see how Kyo handles this terrifying new threat, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next episode. See you then. In our last episode, KyoKusanagi, heir to a legendary clan, discovered a horrifying truth. His very essence was bound to Otome equals Raga, a cosmic entity of immense power. The flames he once commanded were no longer just a martial art. They were the chains tying him to a forgotten god. This revelation shook him to his core, transforming his legendary lineage from a source of pride into a terrifying curse. The Kusanagi legacy was not just about protecting humanity, but about containing a power that could unmake reality itself. Now, in Episode 4, The Call of the Void, the nightmare deepens. Kyo's world is fracturing. It starts subtly, a flicker at the edge of his vision, a whisper in the dead of night. Soon, these flickers become terrifying, vivid visions. He sees worlds born in fire and dying in ice. He witnesses alternate versions of himself, some triumphant heroes, others fallen villains. He sees his friends and rivals, Iori Yagami and Chizuru Kagura, in countless different lives. Their destinies interwoven with his in a dizzying cosmic tapestry. These aren't just dreams. They are glimpses into what he comes to understand as the Crucible of Souls. The Crucible of Souls is not a place, but a state of being in nexus where all possible timelines, every choice, every what-if, converge. It's the engine of destiny, the source code of the universe. And Kyo is standing right at its center. He realizes with chilling certainty that as the vessel for Otome equals Raga, he is more than just a host. He is the key. His body, his soul, has become a living gateway, a bridge between our reality and the chaotic, infinite possibilities of the Crucible. This realization brings a new kind of fear, one that has nothing to do with any earthly opponent. The power thrumming within him isn't just for fighting. Otome equals Raga wasn't a guardian or a simple source of power. It was a reset button for the universe, a deity designed to periodically incinerate creation and remake it from the ashes, ensuring a cycle of cosmic death and rebirth. And Kyo is the conduit for its awakening. Every punch he throws, every flame he ignites, brings this world-ending entity closer to full consciousness. The visions become more intense, more demanding. He sees Otome equals Raga's perspective, a cold, dispassionate view of existence as something flawed, something to be erased and started anew. The entity whispers promises of a perfect world, a universe without pain or conflict. Born from the ashes of the old one, the temptation to let go, to surrender to the entity's grand, horrifying design, and end the suffering of his struggle. He fights it. How do you resist a will that can show you every possible failure, every timeline where you lose? Louder. And KYO is growing louder. And KYO